Time check at 6:30. You will hear my voice at time check at 6 o'clock. Next time you hear the sound of my voice will be at 6:30. Don't forget live coverage of the Golden Drums tonight from 7 o'clock.
Fair and balanced, unbiased and clear, concise and accurate. This is the DBS Evening News. Here now is your presenter with the headlines.
Good evening. Welcome to the DBS Evening News. In the headlines, a flood watch for Dominica will be in effect from midnight to 12 noon tomorrow. From the region, Antigua and Barbuda Prime Minister facing strong criticism from the OECS Bar Association over comments concerning a sitting judge of the Eastern Caribbean Supreme Court. And internationally, the Ebola outbreak in the Democratic Republic of Congo spreading at an unprecedented pace. The death toll tops 2,000. My name is Alian Christopher. The details of the news when we return.
Bundle and watch $98 flow back into your pocket. It's simple. Just add mobile to broadband and save big with Flow. Get fiber fast Wi-Fi at home and all the data you need on the go. We've got you covered everywhere. So what are you waiting for? It's connection times 2 and up to $98 in savings for you. Add mobile to broadband today and take your connection to the next level. Visit in-store or online at discoverflow.co for more details.
DBS News.
Welcome back. Dominicans are being urged to remain alert as 2 tropical waves approach the region, with a flood watch for Dominica taking effect from midnight through noon tomorrow. Carlisle John Baptist is a communication specialist at the Office of Disaster Management.
The National Hurricane Center is monitoring 2 westward moving tropical waves in the tropical Atlantic. The first wave now has a low, and I repeat again, a low chance of development over the next 2 to 7 days. However, interest in the Lesser Antilles, including Dominica, should monitor the progress of this system as strong gusty winds, rough seas, and areas of moderate to heavy showers and thunderstorms are possible from late tonight and Saturday. Mariners in Dominica, especially out on the east coast, should begin to prepare for rough seas over the weekend, likely to begin tonight. People in areas prone to flooding, landslides, and falling rocks are advised to be on alert and to take the necessary precautions. A flood watch or warning may become necessary. And I will also give you the coordinates. A tropical wave located several hundred miles of the Cape Verde Islands is producing disorganized showers and thunderstorms. Environmental conditions are forecast to be generally conducive for gradual development, and a tropical depression could form late this week or this weekend, while the wave moves westward or west-northwestward across the eastern and central tropical Atlantic. Formation chance through the 48 hours low, 30% formation chance through the 7 days, and 50% or medium 50%.
And that is communication specialist at the Office of Disaster Management, Carlisle John Baptist. The Director of Met Services, Marshall Alexander, says the Met Office is monitoring for an increase in rain activity from late tonight into Saturday.
That wave seems to have some moisture with it. So we are monitoring for an increase in rainfall activity beginning by late tonight into tomorrow. And also we are looking at some gusty winds. So we have been experiencing that gusty winds already, and that is expected to agitate the seas, with seas going as far as 12 feet during the weekend. So we are advising smoke-up operators to exercise caution, secure your vessels. Sea bavers advised to stay out of the water, especially on the eastern coast. So we expected to see most of the deterioration in conditions on the eastern coast, but the west as well expect to experience an increase in wave height. So again, we are advising the public to be on alert, stay informed, stay updated as we bring you information on that tropical wave which is approaching the island. I think the heavier shower activity seems to be projecting towards the southern portion of the island, with Dominica being on the northern fringe. But when that system comes closer to Dominica, most of the showers or the moisture usually spread to the north. So we are not taking any chances as it relates to showers, gusty winds, and thunderstorm activity. So there's a possibility that we might be issuing a flood watch or warning to residents. I'm advised to be on alert, exercise caution, listen to updated information from the Met Service.
And that is the Director of Met Services, Marshall Alexander. In related news, the Ministry of Agriculture, Fisheries, Blue and Green Economy is urging all farmers and fishers to remain alert and take the necessary precautions as a weather system is expected to affect Dominica from tonight. Winona Joseph is Acting Chief Fisheries Officer in the Ministry of Agriculture.
The Office of Disaster has advised of the impending deterioration in weather conditions due to the approaching tropical wave. In light of this advisory, I urge all fisherfolk to take the necessary precautions to safeguard their lives, vessels, fishing equipment, and other investment. We recognize and appreciate that many of our fisherfolk are already taking the necessary measures to secure their assets, and we strongly encourage everyone to continue doing so. We also encourage fisherfolk to assist and support one another, particularly in securing vessels and other fishing assets ahead of the expected deterioration in weather conditions. Please take the necessary precaution, remain vigilant, and heed the advice and instructions issued by the Office of Disaster Management. Most importantly, please prioritize your safety.
Acting Chief Fisheries Officer in the Ministry of Agriculture, Winona Joseph. Farmers are also encouraged to secure equipment, tools, farm structures, seedlings, and other materials while taking steps to protect livestock and crops from strong winds and heavy rainfall.
We are alerting you to be wary of the pending weather condition of the wave that may affect Dominica from tonight. We are aware of what this weather situation can do, specifically in the east and the east coast areas. Farmers who have operation on flood-prone areas, you are alerted to secure your animals, to secure your property. Farmers who have greenhouses also should take precaution and ensure that your property is safe. According to the weather advisory, strong winds and heavy rains are expected from tonight into tomorrow's. So please listen to your radio and be wary of what the formal advisory is saying so that you can prepare yourself to reduce your losses during this hurricane season.
That is the Technical Officer, Extension Services in the Ministry of Agriculture, Miranda Laura Stevenson. Minister of State in the Ministry of Health with responsibility for children at risk, Dr. Cassandra Williams, has expressed sadness over the death of 16-year-old Jebiah Paul of Portsmouth. The remains of Jebiah Paul were discovered in Capuchin this week. Police officer Jean-Luc Langley was charged with murder.
I'm also compelled to speak to the wider concern that this tragedy has once again brought sharply into focus the safety and protection of our girls and young women. Sexual abuse, sexual exploitation, and violence against girls and women must never be normalized, excused, concealed, or met with silence. No child should have to live in fear of an adult who should be protecting her. No young woman should be groomed, exploited, or abused by someone who takes advantage of her age, vulnerability, trust, or circumstances. And no family should have to endure the anguish of wondering whether more could have been done to protect their child. We must reject the dangerous attitudes that place responsibility on girls for the behavior of adults. A child cannot be blamed for being exploited. Adults have a responsibility to protect children, not prey upon their vulnerability. This responsibility belongs to all of us.
The minister says parents and guardians have a responsibility to protect children in Dominica.
Parents and guardians must remain engaged in the lives of their children and pay attention when behavior, relationships, or circumstances suddenly change. Communities must not look the other way when there are warning signs of abuse or exploitation. Teachers, health professionals, social workers, churches, youth organizations, and other institutions that interact with children must continue to recognize and report concerns. And those who know or suspect that a child is being abused must understand that silence can leave that child exposed to further harm. We must also speak directly to the men and adults in our society. There can be no justification for the sexual exploitation of a child. Age, authority, money, gifts, transportation, accommodation, influence, or emotional manipulation must never be used to gain sexual access to a girl or a young woman. Our laws also place a responsibility on persons who become aware of suspected sexual abuse of a child to report such matters to the appropriate authorities. We must take that responsibility seriously. If you know or suspect that a child is being abused or exploited, do not remain silent. Report it. Our girls and young women are not objects. They are not commodities. They are children and young people whose safety and well-being are the responsibility of the adults around them.
Minister of State in the Ministry of Health with responsibility for children at risk, Dr. Cassandra Williams. A new water supply system for Kalibishi will become operational by October 2026. General Manager of DOWASCO, Bernard Etinoff, says government has secured funding of $36.3 million for new water supply systems for Kalibishi, Grand Fond, Montjean, Rivière Syrique, and the West Coast. Etinoff told a government town hall meeting in Kalibishi last night following difficulties along the way the Kalibishi system has progressed.
When implementation began, we realized that, and that is a lesson that we learn here, that the consultants coming from all the way from Germany, not having the local experience and so on, there were some little flaws. And so there were some deficiencies we had to correct and to ensure that when the system is complete, people will be happy, people will be satisfied. We know you have had a lot of patience, you've been waiting for a long time. But we are in the final stages at this point. We expect that this project will be fully completed by the 31st of December 2026. Notwithstanding that, that is the date for the roads and everything to be fully reinstated. We expect that you will begin to benefit from a full project by the end of October of this year. We have consulted with our main contractor on the project, and we are in the process, maybe tomorrow, of signing an agreement that that contractor will return to the project and implement all the remaining aspects of the project that should be completed by October 2026, and the people will begin to benefit from the full effect of that project.
General Manager of DOWASCO, Bernard Etinoff. And Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit has told residents of Kalibishi that the reform of income tax in the 2026-2027 budget will create relief for the working population of the area. His comments came during a town hall meeting in Kalibishi last night.
Then you speak about the removal of the 35% income tax, and the 25% income tax, and the 15% income tax. And we have now introduced a 10% flat rate, removing all of those rates, which means that the people in Dominica who are paying, and in Kalibishi and the constituency of Playbush, who are paying income tax, will see a dramatic difference at the end of the month when it comes to the new income tax paid pay payments and so forth. Which means we're allowing you as a working person in Dominica who is paying taxes to keep more money in your pocket and let you do whatever you wish with that money. Hope that you can invest it, you can use it to improve your life and to live a better way of life. And so, on one hand, we're reducing the cost of goods and cost of doing business in Dominica. And on the other hand, we're allowing you to keep more money in your pockets. And for those who are already not paying income tax, because we increased the tax threshold from $12,000 in 2009 to $30,000. Which means that from 2009, everybody who is earning $2,500 a month paid no taxes in Dominica. And we've extended that now to those who are paying income tax in Dominica. And for those of us now who are not paying income tax, who do not meet who are below the threshold and therefore we're not paying income tax, there's a benefit to you.
And that is Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit. A new land lease facility for young farmers in Dominica is on the way. Minister for Agriculture Roland Reyes says young farmers have shown interest in the program.
We received over 300 applications. We are in the process of reviewing. Last week, Cabinet approved 22 young farmers who will occupy over 70 acres of land. So it's not just talking and we're not doing what we're doing what we have to do. That is transformation. That is progress. That is putting young people first. So the land lease, as I said, is ongoing. Every week we review. But what we found very interesting, when Land and Service did the assessment, they found over 171 lots occupied on state land. And that was equivalent to over 540 acres of land occupied. So what we are doing, we are not going to run them. We are going to regularize them because the land is working, the land is productive, so we'll come to Cabinet with a special paper to regularize the persons that are on the land that are identified to be in that bank for the land lease program.
And that is the Minister of Agriculture, Roland Royer. Finally, this evening, 6 cultural stalwarts in Dominica will receive the Golden Drum Award later this evening. The Golden Drum Award is Dominica's highest cultural award. Also, 5 will receive special recognition. That's the national focus. Stay tuned for news from the region and the world. Up next.
Bundle and watch $98 flow back into your pocket. It's simple. Just add mobile to broadband and save big with Flow. Get fiber fast Wi-Fi at home and all the data you need on the go. We've got you covered everywhere. So what are you waiting for? It's connection times 2 and up to $98 in savings for you. Add mobile to broadband today and take your connection to the next level. Visit in-store or online at discoverflow.co for more details.
DBS News.
Antigua and Barbuda Prime Minister Gaston Brown is facing strong criticism from the OECS Bar Association over comments concerning a sitting judge of the Eastern Caribbean Supreme Court. The controversy stems from Brown's criticism of what he considers lenient sentencing, particularly in serious criminal cases. He reportedly threatened action against the judge, including a reference to immigration powers.
But man, if you can't follow the lead of the parliament to give longer sentences, leave our country voluntarily, otherwise they're going to deport you.
The OECS Bar Association has now entered the dispute, strongly condemning Brown's remarks and expressing concern about what it sees as an attack on judicial independence. Brown, however, has rejected the criticism. And the Ebola outbreak in the Democratic Republic of Congo is spreading, with the virus now confirmed in a 6th province, raising fresh concerns about new infections and the challenges facing health teams. France 24's correspondent Emmett Livingstone says the disease is now spreading at an unprecedented pace.
The Ebola epidemic in the Democratic Republic of Congo is going from bad to worse. This week, the symbolic threshold of 2,000 deaths was reached, and Ebola has also spread to yet another province. According to official figures published on Friday, an Ebola death has been recorded in the province of Bawele, which borders the Central African Republic. The disease is now spreading at an unprecedented pace. When the epidemic was declared in May, just one province, Ituri, was affected. 3 months later, a total of 6 provinces have Ebola. Experts involved in the response are highly concerned.
The Ebola outbreak in the Democratic Republic of Congo has now killed 2,184 people with 4,665 confirmed cases. That's the news. Sports comes up next.
Covering the nation and beyond, DBS Sports Report.
First up in the sports this evening, the national women's volleyball team's rough run at the ECVA volleyball tournament in the British Virgin Islands continued today as the team suffered their third straight defeat in the tournament this afternoon. Dominica went down 3-1 to St. Lucia. Dominica has ended the round-robin phase with 3 defeats to Anguilla, Bermuda, and St. Lucia. The Dominica Amateur Basketball Association is hoping to tip off its National Women's League soon. Coordinator of the Women's League, Caroline Luke, says registration for the tournament will officially begin next week. She says she is hoping that women will come out and participate in the league.
I just want to announce that registration will be open from next week for the women's team. We unfortunately don't have that much interest like the men, but we still have a young group that's coming up. I have the MVP of the Windward Islands team next to me, so we have some young girls interested in the sport. So we want to build on that. So we are opening registration from next week. So based on the amount of teams that we have, we will decide if we're going to go ahead with the league. But we want to run it over a period of a month and just have a nice, concise month of basketball for the women. So we are asking teams or interested teams to send in their registration list and so forth, so we can see how we move forward with the female league.
Coordinator of the Women's League, Caroline Luke, the DABA has also announced a date for its Premier League and Division 1 League finals. The West Coast Ballers will meet the Posse Pacers in the Division 1 finals, while the 767 Sports Club Happy Dominators will take on the Dr. Daru Pishne Sports Club Falcons in the Premier Finals. The best of 5 match series will get underway next Tuesday. DABA President Donnie Robinson says the stage is set for a thrilling conclusion to the league.
The National League is ongoing. The finals are scheduled for next week, Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. I think are the first 3 games. But it's important that we get the listening public to understand that where basketball is in that sense. From those teams that are playing, we definitely have some of the best players on island play. And it's also important to recognize that the teams that for most part are in the finals are the more organized teams in terms of club structure, preparation, leadership, and continuity, which is what we try to get out there. That no longer you just come and play and everybody's on the same level and the luck makes you win. Now you have to be prepared, structured, and ready to do so.
DABA President Donnie Robinson. President of the Windward Islands Cricket Board, Clement Marcelin, says an announcement will be made soon on the players who will be contracted for the Volcanoes for the upcoming regional season. Marcelin says the selectors will have some tough decisions to make following a strong showing from a number of players at the Windward Islands Cricket Tournament.
Well, that in the near future, of course, there will be an announcement. The announcement of the team is public knowledge, public information. We would want as well our fans and supporters of Windward Islands Cricket to be in the loop as to what is going on and what direction that we're taking. So in short order, with the naming of the team, the naming of the team will be done. The selection panel, I'm sure, has the work cut out for them, considering the performances of the tournament and where, as the board, we want to go, what the direction that the board is taking.
President of the Windward Island Cricket Board, Clement Marcelin. In football, Central Cooperative Credit Union Dublin Football Club inched closer to an unprecedented fourth consecutive Premier League title as they got past Promex Harlem United as the DFA Premier League continued Thursday night at Almond Park in Dublin. Goals from Savio Ansem and Felix Ansem helped Dublin to a 2-0 win, their 12th straight win of the season. With the win, Dublin now moves to 36 points and are 9 points clear of second place Sagicor South East and still with a game in hand. Dublin head coach Malcolm Bertrand says last night's win was special given the number of players that were unavailable for the match.
Yeah, this one was sweet because we're missing 8 players. They say we're national squad, but we only have 2 national players tonight, and they're still not fit. They're not healthy. They're not fully 100%. And we managed to pull off a 2-0 win against Harlem, so that's a good game for us.
How happy are you, though? Because you said that you were missing 8 guys, and to see some of the guys who probably don't get the regular game time really step up tonight and really give you that victory.
Well, that's what I said to them tonight. Tonight is their night to shine, and going forward, some of them are doing the place into the next game already. So the national players coming back, I have to see them on the bench for a little bit because.
All right, and this win really gives you a big cushion at the top of the table, 9 points. You can almost say the job is done as you look to push for that 4th title.
Yeah, well, it's almost done, but it's not done yet. We have to push in the work. Since we came from Korea, so we haven't trained yet. So it's been a little topsy-turvy before us. But we plan to get back on the ball this week and try to push, make that final push, coming to the last few games remaining. Well, we've been there already, and what we try to do every game is try to play our game, try to keep the ball. We had a good first half tonight. Our second half wasn't as good because we were a bit leggy, but our first half was excellent tonight. What we have to do is keep doing the work, keep moving the ball, keep possessing the ball, creating chances, and I think the game will sort itself at the end of the 90 minutes.
Dublin head coach Malcolm Bertrand. The Premier League continues tonight with a crucial match with implications for the relegation battle. 10th place Dewitt Centre Mighty Avengers will take on 8th place Middleham Football Club. Just 2 points separates both teams from the bottom with just a handful of games remaining in the season. That game gets underway at 7 p.m. at the DFA Technical Centre. Meantime, in the DFA Division 1 League last night, RC Doctors and Buster Warner played to a 1-1 draw at the DFA Technical Centre. Darius Prince scored for RC Doctors while Shahid Alexander got the goal for Buster Warner. In cricket, Mohamed Nabi got a 4-wicket haul to help the Guyana Amazon Warriors to their first win of the Caribbean Premier League as they got past the Jamaica Kingsmen last night at Sabina Park. Batting first, the Kingsmen were held to just 117. Reza Hendricks got 40 and Rothman Powell 24. Mohamed Nabi bagged 4 for 22 and Shama Joseph also got 2 for 22. The Warriors in reply got 118 for 4 in 14.1 overs. Shea Hope got 56. Glenn Phillips added 28. Warriors captain is Imran Tahir.
Yeah, look, there was a little bit done. I won't say it was a bad pitch. I think it was a decent pitch. You can get 170, 180, but I think I have to give credit to our fast bowlers, especially Nabi, the way he bowled. He's an experienced guy. So I think we knew our plan before we came, where we need to bowl. And yeah, I think once you come and you bowl a couple of balls, you need to adjust with the condition quite quickly. And I think that's what we did really well.
Guyana Amazon Warriors captain Imran Tahir. The loss was the 3rd straight for the Kingsmen. Kingsmen captain Rothman Powell says his team has to be better.
I think this is where captaincy and a good coaching staff comes to play. We have to find ways of instilling confidence within the boys. But having said that, we still as players need to find a complete game.
Over 400 runs scored on that same surface a couple of nights ago. You guys really never got going. Was it down to change in conditions, exceptional Guyana bowling, or just disappointing batting?
I think it's just disappointing batting. But having said that, you have to give credit to the Guyana bowlers. They find their lengths and line pretty early.
Jamaica Kingsmen captain Rothman Powell. The CPL continues tonight with the St. Lucia Kings taking on the Antigua and Barbuda Falcons. And Tanzid Hassan hit a century to put Bangladesh in a commanding position after 2 days of play in the first test match with Australia. Hassan got 101 as Bangladesh reached 351 for 6 at stumps on day 2. Najmul Hossein Shanto scored 84. Josh Hazelwood and Mitchell Stark picked up 2 wickets each for Australia. Earlier in the test match, the Australians were bowled out for 198. Steve Smith got 71. Hassan Mahmood took 6 for 55. The scores heading into day 3, Australia 198 and Bangladesh 351 for 6. Bangladesh, they lead by 153 runs. Well, that's how we end things on this evening's Sport Report. I've been the presenter, Ali and Christopher, of both the news and sports, saying good evening.
DBS Radio gives you top quality service over any other for live streaming of funerals. Call us today at 448-3282.
Good evening and welcome to this evening's edition of the DBS Radio Community Bulletin Board. It is the 14th day of August 2026. We begin with this evening's edition of the DBS Radio Death Announcements. DBS Radio announces the death of Mrs. Octavia Rosemary Mility, better known as Ote, age 79, of St. Joseph. She died on Saturday, the 1st of August 2026. She was the wife of Arnold Mility. She was the mother of sons Kenneth Pascal, Emerson, David, and Cornell Mility, and her daughters, Sharita Mility Grant. She will also be remembered by her adopted children, Petra Carbon and Brian Cornelius. Godchildren, Schwing Thomas and Florin Williams. Grandchildren, Kenisha, Marisha, Azana, Davy, Daniel, Bethany, Mariah, Brian, Derek, Daniel, Yvette, Benjamin, Joshua, and Abigail. Great-grandchildren, Samara, Manuel, Naomi, Elijah. Daughters-in-law, Mary, Valerie, Valeria, and Sheely. Son-in-law, Frank. Sisters, Victoria Mader and Virginia Mator. Brothers, Derek, Jefferson, Jepson, and John Baptist Mator. Nieces, Debbie, Claudette, Menu, Simonette, Brianna, Alana, Lynn, Lina, Terry, Khadijah, Martha, and Nayanka. Nephews, Winston, Carrick, Kenny, Marshall, Aaron, Ash, Jamal, Kerry, Uri, Calvin, Tyler, Gail, and Jamal. Family friends, Frances, Anthea, Disley, Mary Rose, and Jared. The communities of St. Joseph, Layu, Miro, and Salisbury, members of the St. Joseph SDA Church, and many other relatives and friends, names too numerous to mention. The body of the late Mrs. Octavia Rosemary Mility, better known as Ote of St. Joseph, can be viewed from 10 a.m. on Sunday, the 16th of August 2026, at the St. Petersburg Seventh-day Adventist Church, 1001 56th Street, North St. Petersburg, Florida, 33710, and followed by funeral service, which will take place at 11 a.m. We announced the death of Raphael Elroy Pioche, age 84, of Kalibishi, who resided at Palm Tree and Portsmouth. He died on Monday, the 3rd of August, 2026, at the Dominica China Friendship Hospital. He was the father of Edmund, Earl, Evans, Eustace, and Tricia Pioche. He will also be remembered by his adopted son, Fitzroy Williams. His daughters-in-law, Kimberly, Karen, Helena, Amanda, and Marcia Pioche, and Vanessa Williams. Grandchildren, Julia, Curlson, Kimberly, Brittany, Noah, Ralu, Amina, Jimmy, Chris, Jennifer, Sheldon, Giovanni, Johan, Loyan, Lucretia, and Kiwana Pioche. Brothers, Frampton Benjamin and Pascal Deek. Sisters, Rosamond and Caesarine Deek. Sisters-in-law, Yolan and Therese Waldron. Imra Carbon, Justine Deek, and Phyllis Benjamin. Great-grandchildren, Zane, Ava, Breaker, Cameron, Kelson, Kristen, and Elena. Uncle Rose Pioche. Nieces Lisa and Sophia Valmond, Lester Sully, Jameen Lando, Mavis Benjamin, Veron Abraham, Eloise, Kate, Michelle,